Welcome to FUNC YOU UP, the podcast that gives you the best of functional medicine, nutrition, and wellness in 8 minutes or less.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to FUNC YOU UP. This is Michelle Miller, clinical nutritionist.
And this is Diana Orchant, functional medicine registered dietitian.
We are heading into that time of year when we start to get a little concerned about cold and flu season, potentially this year more than ever before. So Diana and I wanted to put together a list of our go-to kind of action steps and recommendations when we really need to support our immune system more than ever to make sure that we are at the strongest place we can to avoid any, viruses, colds, flus, things like that might be coming at us. So Diana, tell our audience how we kind of organized and are going to lead them through these recommendations.
So we love coming up with ways that are easy to memorize our recommendations since we know it can be quite a lot. So we've come up with the 5 S's today. And these are going to be kind of your guidelines to get you through this season. The first one is going to be the one that you want to avoid. The rest of them are all things that you're going to want to add in. So the first one is sugar. You guessed it. So with sugar, we really want to focus on making sure we minimize it, mainly because sugar reduces the activities of white blood cells, I think by about 40%, something pretty crazy. We're talking, that simple sugar, table sugar you're adding in, or sugar that's added into processed foods.
Exactly. And we know that this is no time to be suppressing our immune system, but we also want to think in terms of dietary components. What else can we be doing to strengthening our immune system? So, we often think about adding things in. This is something you need to take away. So thinking about not only things like pastries and desserts and, straight candy or soda, but also alcohol, which is a big one. I don't think a lot of people consider alcohol as a dietary component that could actually be putting stress or even suppressing their immune system. That's a major one, especially if you're combining it with some sort of juice or again, soda, some sort of other sugar component.
Yeah, but while we want to focus on eliminating sugar, we also want to focus on what can we add in to crowd out some of the more sugary things. So, our first thing we always think of when we're trying to kind of minimize added sugars would be to have fruit, right? Nature made fruit for us, for our sweet tooth, to enjoy and actually get a lot of those phytonutrients from all the different colorful fruits that nature has to offer. But we also want to focus on vegetables, a variety of, leafy greens and all different color vegetables, whole grains, nuts, all these types of foods that will really help reduce inflammation and fight off infection, just because they're really high in vitamins, antioxidants, and multiple types of vitamins and minerals, which we'll discuss.
I love the idea of almost having a little competition with yourself or with your family or your roommates on who can eat the most vegetables that day. I think the goal personally is to always try to get up to close to 4 servings a day. From working with clients, Diana, you can attest to this too. We see for a lot of people, it's difficult to get them above 2 servings a day. So really, this is the time of year when you want to buckle down, consider some soups, some stews, some stir fry, some fun ways of like warming up these vegetables, but you really want to push these vegetables. That if you only did that, you'd be supporting your immune system a little bit better this year.
Yeah, and there are certain ones that we want to make sure we consider in addition to, the variety of that you might see on your plate. This includes garlic, ginger, and turmeric, since they have a ton of wonderful benefits that can help our immune system. So garlic, this one I think can be a little hard to stand depending on how you cook it. So you want to make sure you're cooking it, even using a little bit of garlic powder is going to be beneficial. But there's one enzyme in garlic that really provides it with its ability to enhance our immune function, and that's called allicin.
And I think with, whether it is ginger or garlic or turmeric or whatever you may be adding in to give you a little bit of a boost of antioxidant potential or antiviral potential, we love the idea of incorporating these into your meals because they all have a warmer taste to them. And again, I think that's perfect to go hand in hand with some of the cooler months to kind of balance that out energetically.
Yeah, and another one is ginger. So that I think is really common that people will make fresh ginger tea or even just having ginger tea in general. It's really warming and soothing, as Michelle was saying, and really great for when you're feeling run down. It's also really helpful to aid in digestion. And then lastly is turmeric. So it's really used for just about everything in Ayurvedic medicine just because of its immune supporting properties. And its most active compound is curcumin, which again is very antiviral. And just because of that bright orange color, it has wonderful antioxidant capacity. We always like to say, if you're going to add some turmeric, just make sure you're adding black pepper just to help ensure you're getting the optimal amount of absorption.
And with the curcumin, the turmeric, you have that anti-inflammatory component, because we know when we are more inflamed, we are more at risk for our immune system to be struggling. And so then you think also about all of the other things that increase inflammation in the body. We have some great episodes on a lot of these inflammatory foods, things like gluten and dairy, of course, sugar, even soy, corn. So this is a good time to really tighten up the diet and just feed your body with the most nutritious, dense foods you possibly can.
So while we always like to start with diet, our next S is going to be supplements. So sometimes we can't always reach the amount of a vitamin or mineral that we want to have through food. And so with that, we look at supplements, and we have named quite a few that will help support your immune system this season.
So probably the go-tos in terms of our immune system, zinc is a really popular one. We'll recommend anything from 5 to 30 milligrams a day. This is a really essential one to not only build up in your system during this time of year, but to also start taking at slightly higher doses once you feel yourself getting run down. Vitamin C, again, a really popular one, a powerful antioxidant. Same thing. Most of us, our levels are not as high as they should be. And when you become sick, when your immune system is stressed, you're going to suck up a lot more of that. So if someone's daily intake of vitamin C is around, 1,000 or 2,000 milligrams a day, they may find when they're run down and they're sick or fighting something off that they can easily intake 2 or 3 times that amount because their body is using and burning so much of that antioxidant.
And to go with this is glutathione. So glutathione is really our body's master antioxidant and helps the body really detoxify, and it really strengthens our immune system. So it actually works hand in hand with vitamin C. So we often recommend kind of taking those together. And you can really only get this through a high quality whey protein, which is why we often recommend taking a supplement.
Absolutely. I also love vitamin A. I'll get that in my cod liver oil, which is kind of a natural way to support the gut lining, support getting your vitamin A, get a little bit of vitamin D in that, all while getting some good healthy omega-3s, which decrease inflammation. I'm a huge fan of that. You've probably heard me bring that up into lots of episodes. But vitamin D, let's not let that slip away, because vitamin D we know helps modulate the immune system. In terms of getting your levels tested, this is one of the have-tos. You have to have this level tested. It should be a part of every primary care visit, blood workup. We like to see the levels anywhere between 60 and 80 so that they're high enough and circulating enough vitamin D in your body where you can really reap these additional benefits that vitamin D has to offer, like supporting your bones, supporting your hormones, your mood, your inflammatory pathways, and your immune system. But obviously, supplementing isn't the number one way we get vitamin D, right? We also get it from our next topic.
From our next S, which is sunlight. So you can get vitamin D from the sun. It kind of depends on your body and depends on the person, but it's often hard to get enough, which is why we always say it's likely that you'll need a vitamin D supplement depending on where you live in the world. So sunlight's super important for so many reasons. There's just so many benefits of being outside, being in nature, on our mental and physical health, as well as it helps set our body's circadian rhythm. So it helps us make sure, we're up and functioning and well, and kind of tells our body kind of what to be doing in that time frame of the day or the night.
It's also good from a temperature standpoint to stress your body's temperature just slightly every day, just a little bit, whether it is getting into a hotter, if it's a warmer day, kind of going out and getting a little bit warm, or if it's a colder day, going out, kind of fighting the elements that way too. That is positive stress on the body and on the immune system, because your body learns to adapt. This is also the reason a lot of people do cold showers or like cold plunges, because it helps the body adapt very quickly, and that good stress on your body's system allows you to bounce back and create a little bit of resiliency. Now, I think I just hinted towards the next S word, right? So that idea of getting outside and maybe, getting your heart rate up and working up a little bit of a sweat, that actually leads us to our next one.
Our next one being stress. So while there is good and not so great stresses, good stress would be kind of pushing your body to the limit, whether that be exercising a little bit harder than you did the day before. But then there's stressors that we want to kind of make sure that we're not experiencing, or at least we are limiting or minimizing. And so the reason being is because being stressed completely suppresses your immune system and really takes a toll on your body. I mean, you can feel it mentally, physically. That's why there's things like stress factors exist, and stress can cause a variety of diseases. I mean, let alone IBS. A lot of the drivers of that would be stress alone. Yeah. So one of the things that we recommend, and there's so many different ones for stress, is taking a bath, adding Epsom salts, essential oils, and just kind of relaxing, or at least setting some time aside for yourself, whatever that may be, to do some meditation, just to kind of make sure that you're activating that parasympathetic nervous system and just kind of taking a break and giving yourself that relaxation you need.
And I think this is an element that a lot of people push to the side a little bit. And I don't think this can be understated. I mean, this is part of your survival. This isn't just like woo-woo or, a luxury. I think finding time to de-stress, whether that is meditation, whether that is having fun or laughing or doing something that brings joy into your life. I mean, that's ultimately what we're looking for. And even better, if you can figure out how to de-stress while you are doing this next S.
The next one being sweat. So we love the idea of sweating, whether that be exercising, getting outside in the sun so you get some of those sweat beads on your face, getting into some sort of sauna, anything that invokes the act of sweating just a little tiny bit at least, just so we can activate our detox pathways. As I've said before, our skin is our largest detox pathway. So getting out some of the toxins and stressors out of our body through our skin is going to be really important here.
So normally in a time like the winter months, the winter and fall months, our body is constantly battling all sorts of viruses and bacteria. It's doing this all year round, but I would say it's doing this at a higher rate during, this time of year. And so sweating is just one more defense that you can have in place to kind of allow your body to, yes, come in contact with some things, but maybe if they're more mild, your body just kind of rids them. All of these kind of detoxification pathways we really have to utilize to make sure that we aren't getting kind of bogged down by a virus or bacteria, that we're able to get it out of our system pretty quickly. And again, I mean, I think if you're doing multiple S's in combination with each other, you're getting sleep, you're sweating, you're having fun and enjoying it, you're getting your de-stressing, you're supplementing with some good nutrients, you're avoiding your sweets. That's basically the goal for all of us, to stay as healthy as we can this time of year.
So we hope that you take these 5 S's and use them this cold, flu, everything season and really put them to work. If you have any friends, family that you think could benefit from this episode, please share it with them. We'd love to help everyone that we can, especially this upcoming season. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us via our Instagram at Physio Logic NYC or via email at funkyouup@physiologicnyc.com.
We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to Funk You Up. Be sure to like, review, and subscribe for more daily tips on living well.